this is not about resolutions and new goals. Here's the thing. There's nothing magical about turning the December page over to January. But then again, maybe there is that feeling of, hey friends, welcome. I'm Miss Katie, and you are here at my little village homestead heritage house. I'm glad you're here. I hope y'all have had a good holiday. Whether you, actually that includes Thanksgiving. I literally have not made a video since before Thanksgiving. The videos you've seen here in December, I actually made those before Thanksgiving. So I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you had a good Christmas or Hanukkah, whichever you celebrate, or none at all, and a Happy New Year. I'd like to invite you to come on in. I've got one more dish to finish up. Oh, and look here. We had some dear friends from the Heritage Ways community to come and have brunch with us at our house before Christmas. And she brought me several gifts. And one of those is this, I don't know if it's knitted or crocheted, dishcloth. And it feels like it's all cotton. It's not synthetic. I love it. So thank you, Miss Anola, for sending this and coming to bless us by visiting us in our home with your husband for your 47th anniversary. So thank you. We do like to build community. And that's kind of the thing I want to address today, the underlying thing. So what I want to do is I want to kind of warn those who are not interested in building community with us. You don't want relationships, you don't want community, you just want a recipe and go. Well, this video is not going to fulfill you or satisfy you. I'll just go ahead and tell you that today. This video is for our friends. It's for our new friends, our longtime friends who would like to build community and have relationships. This is more of a coffee chat video where you're going to get your coffee while I'm kind of working. But I invite you to sit down and let me, or get a basket of laundry and fold it, or wash dishes of your own dishes. But I'd like to share with you several things that are really on my heart and my mind today, things that I hope will help you, things that are going on in our lives, but I want to relate it to your life and maybe give you some tips. So this video is going to be all over across the board as far as organizing and tips and getting our minds straight for the new year. You know, we watched a lot of Christmas movies. We do every year. We watch the classics, and we watched, it's a Christmas in Connecticut, the old version, first one or whatever, the original, the classic. And I was thinking when I was watching that, I thought, oh my word, I think I'm Elizabeth Lane. I think I'm a fraud a lot of times. So I want to explain that and just invite you to come in. We're going to talk about some meal planning. We're going to talk about accepting help, a little bit of planning and organizing. So again, this is just a happy new year. Let's start the new year off right. Tell you a couple things that are going on in our lives for the year and maybe what you can expect. So I'm going to finish up this last pot to wash while you are hopefully clicking that thumbs up button if you love home and all things homemaking and just want to hear one homemaker share her life and maybe glean some tips from me in regards to homemaking and meal planning and that sort of thing. So stay tuned. I'll be right back after I get this dish washed, and we'll meet over here at my butcher block to talk some more. Well, again, thanks for being here. If you're new, I am Miss Katie, and this is Heritage Ways. Heritage Ways is where I teach homemaking skills, and I just want to encourage homemakers and homesteaders. But I'm not your big-time homesteader who milks cows and goes all out. That is great, but that is not me. I'm kind of in the middle, and that's where you may be too. You know, I have some chickens, and I love having our fresh eggs. The kids love getting the eggs. And we have a small garden. We have a rabbit, we have a cat and a dog. And I do all kinds of skills, here from home and teaching in person and online about, that are considered heritage skills. And I've been doing that since way before the homesteading movement, which I'm glad has occurred, but that is what goes on here. And right now, I am really focusing on the hashtag that I created called Best We Can Homemaking. I've heard from several of y'all that really resonates with you, so I'm glad about that. I'm just kind of your happy medium. That's what I consider myself to be. Here's an example. We have our, from Aldi, this Wisconsin, I forget what they call it, but it's the pastry, the oval shaped pastry, which is delicious and full of sugar, right next to my good, healthy, organic, gut-loving, healthy chicken broth. So, you know, and then over here, in the background, you're going to hear a little music man playing with his Legos. And then over here, we've got our healthy, homemade, good ingredients, waffles, and then I've got my store-bought croissants. So, you know, my life is about balance. I don't have the time, the energy, and the brain cells to do it all. I homeschool our two youngest children, Little Music Man, Little Miss Homemaker, and maintain a home and actually run the business called Heritage Ways, which is a lot of work that I have recently learned people don't really realize. It's not just putting out a video and then you're done. I mean, it's a full-time job if I want it to be, and if I want it to grow to encourage more people, which I do. So that is a little bit about me and Heritage Ways. And so what I want to share is why I feel like I'm a fraud. And then I want to go on and tell you what I'm doing for my meal planning this month. And so if something inspires or encourages you, that is great. Have y'all seen the movie A Christmas in Connecticut? It's Elizabeth Lane is the main character. And the premise is she's writing this article for the newspaper, and she's writing about all these gourmet foods she's making, and and her farm in Connecticut, and her animals, her cow, and all this. And she actually lives in an apartment somewhere. She doesn't know how to cook. Her uncle gives her the recipes, and it's a lovely story in the end. And she gets it's a happy ending. I won't spoil it for you. Now, I try to be authentic. I treat people the way I want to be treated. But I look at that movie and I think, you know, Katie, are you teaching and encouraging ladies and homemakers to do one thing, but then again, you're not doing it? Well, not really. I am, and I do have that knowledge and skill. But a lot of times I just wonder, you know, are you encouraging them, but you're turning around and feeding your family a box of macaroni and cheese? Well, you do know that I'm upfront and honest about my boxes of macaroni and cheese and my store-bought, you know, Danishes and things like that. So I just want to encourage you with the walk that I'm walking in Best We Can Homemaking. I have got, this is my planner, believe it or not, for the whole year. And I have one every year, but it's a little thicker this year because I'm trying to do a few more things to help myself. Now, that's what I want to encourage you to do. I'm talking to ladies, or men, ladies and gentlemen of all income levels, I'm sure. I'm talking to people who, you know, on either spectrum maybe of income levels. You can afford to do this or not this or that or so forth. I get that. So what I'm sharing with y'all today, you just pick and choose what you can do. Now, I say that to say Mr. Patient and I are not rolling in the dough, and we do not have a money tree, but we do budget. We do several things that help us to be able to do some things I'm going to explain. Number one, we budget. We use the envelope system, Dave Ramsey system, done that for years. That's how we got out of debt. We are not in debt right now. We don't have a lot of money in the bank or anything like that, unfortunately, but we have no debt. So that is a big blessing. We are thankful. We are very thankful for that. But we still kind of live paycheck to paycheck at this point. For several reasons. Number one, because of our traveling. We did full-time traveling to meet our social media friends and find ways to build community. And another, that thing, you know, right now, obviously inflation, we've got medical bills and so forth. So I'm just relating to you that I'm sure you have mounds of concerns about your budget. Last year was pretty rough for us. It's the worst year, Mr. Patient and I feel like that we have ever had in our family. It was really rough. And I pray to the Lord that we don't, this year is totally different. And this is our family's no exception. I know a lot of y'all because I've talked to you. I know you personally, and you've had some rough stuff as well. So my health has suffered because of that. So I don't really want to get into that a lot because I talk about that on Patreon, and I might talk about it on my other channel, Hope for Home with Heritage Ways. But because this channel is not really about my health, but I do want to address because I know that y'all can relate. I know because you tell me you can. And as a mom, I have given and given and given all my life. I did not know I was supposed to take care of myself, and I'm learning that the hard way. So, is that you? I mean, are you learning, wow, okay, I probably should have taken care of myself starting 35 years ago or whatever. So I'm suffering from all those health concerns that have just surfaced on top of all the stress from 2022. But I'm committed to helping myself, and I'm working through my practitioners and so forth to do that. Our personal, in our family, we have a big event that has occurred. We've got a big purchase we've made. We're going to tell y'all about that soon in a different video, but that's going to change our lives in a good way. And so that'll be coming up, and that's happening, you know, the progress will be happening throughout this year and going forward. Also, to consider is I've got a lot of opportunities that have been given to me for Heritage Ways. And I've got 3 speaking engagements this year that are at big venues. And then I have some other small speaking engagements. We have a meetup that Mr. Patient and I are planning. Hope you can come. Stay tuned for that information. I'm writing an ebook right now, and I've got a deadline for the end of January. And that opportunity kind of came up all of a sudden. So there are a lot of things. I'm not even touching on everything that's going on with Heritage Ways. So I'm having to make some choices and prioritize everything that I do. I'm finding ways to help myself. So maybe you can do that if you own a business, or if you're a homemaker, or, you know, not maybe even if you don't have children at home, just if you want to find ways to maybe have more sanity, and maybe you can automate something. For example, I'm automating my Instagram post, and I will, you know, I sit down and I write 20 of them, and then they go out when they're supposed to go out, and I don't have to remember to do that, but I go and just check comments and that kind of thing. It's like having your own secretary. It's like having your own assistant. So is there something you can automate? Now, I want to talk to you about the meals, because like I said, I'm all about home cooked meals. I've written 2 cookbooks. And if you're here just saying, I wish she'd shut up, I just want a recipe, well, you'd probably be better off just buying my 2 cookbooks, because that's going to give you about 400 different recipes that are not fancy ingredients. They're time honored, they're family loved recipes, and you'll see the link to my cookbooks in the description box below. In fact, there's a lot of helpful information in the description box below. So if you're here just for the recipes, I suggest you just buy the cookbooks, because you're going to get a lot of information that way. So anyway, so back to my meal planning. I want to show you my junky, horrible refrigerator. I want to pull some things out. I want to tell you what I am doing for meal planning and hope that that somehow inspires you. But just remember what I was saying a while ago, the way that we afford to do certain things, because you think, well, I could never afford that. Well, I understand that. I get that. But also, we pick and choose, we budget for things. And say, for example, there's things I don't do. Like I don't shop at Walmart or Amazon at all. So I'm not tempted, you know, I don't ever walk in Target or Walmart or Amazon or whatever, and the Amazon website, and just fill up my buggy and they go, oh, what happened? I just spent $450 I didn't mean to spend. I don't do that just because I don't shop at those places. Sometimes I might go to Aldi and spend a little more than I planned, but I spent $170 there the other day, and that was more than I had planned. So we budget, and we've done this even, we haven't changed it for inflation, $600 a month. Now, that's $300, no, I'm sorry, $600 every 2 weeks. So that's $300 a week for groceries. That includes anything I might buy that's household too. If I need batteries or toilet paper, or even if we go out to eat, even, it comes out of that. So, you know, we've got to be mindful of that. Except we do have a Subway envelope and a pizza envelope, so that those are separate, and we put money in those envelopes. But so $300 a week, and now we have 4 people living in the home. So what I'm going to show you, we have done for $300 a week. So I just share that with you. So let me pull some things out of the fridge, and now let me talk a little bit about what I'm going to do for January meals and meal planning. One thing I am doing is making sure I'm drinking more water. This is not about resolutions and new goals. Here's the thing. There's nothing magical about turning the December page over to January. But then again, maybe there is that feeling of complete newness and starting over. And for us, after having the year that we had last year, it just is a delight to turn the page to January 2023. We're going into it with hope and joy and expectation of the Lord's blessings. But I'm not about making resolutions. I'm not even about making goals for a new year. Because, and honestly, and I wrote this on Instagram the other day, we have a new start every single morning of our lives. You could have a new start every minute. You could be like, okay, it's been a horrible day, and we're just going to start all over. But there is something delightful and hopeful about turning that that calendar page over to January 1st for the new year. And one thing I'm doing, like I said, because I am trying to focus more on spending time with the Lord and with my family and for myself before I even manage my business and some other things. So those are some changes you're probably going to see. I'm not going to stress over not getting content out when I think that I should have, and then I beat myself up about it. I'm one person, and you are too, and we're doing best we can. So cheers to more water with aloe vera in it for acid reflux. It helps. It was recommended to me by my practitioner, a allopathic practitioner, meaning not naturopathic. Allopathic is just general medicine. And she recommended aloe vera, and law mercy, y'all, it has helped so much. So let's talk about, I'm going to show you how I'm doing my menu plan. I do two things because this month, which is the month that I am working on that ebook that I have a deadline for, and the journal newspaper. I want to tell you just a second about that too, because we are expanding that. We're expanding the staff who are writing columns and the number of pages. Now, how many pages more will we expand? That depends on the content that we receive. I do not write this paper myself. It is content from you, the viewers, the readers, especially the news from home. So it's content that I receive. If I don't receive additional content than normal, then it will be the regular size. But we are prepared to extend the newspaper. We've done the research for the postage and all that kind of thing. And I've put a lot of time and effort and excitement into expanding the newspaper. So we have a lot of good things going on with that. And that comes out this month. So if you don't know what the journal newspaper is, it is an in-home newsprint. It's on newsprint paper for the homemaking and homesteading community. And folks love it. I love it. I love the community aspect. It is people contribute, and from all over the world, really. And I will leave a link for that information down below too. But the journal newspaper is this month too. So that is going on in my little world. So because of that, I have, well, I always have, but I've made sure that I have the menu listed here on the inside cabinet so that the family knows what they can do to help me. Not just what they're going to eat, but what they can do to help me. I've taken my planner, and this is a different kind of planner than what I've bought in the past. I've usually bought the Blue Sky, but this time I bought this, what is it? It's, I don't know, it just says Plan a Happy Life. I think I got it at Staples. But what I've done is I also bought these little inserts, and they just stick on here, and it tells the meals on here. You can plan your meals however you want to. Do it on a piece of notebook paper, whatever makes you happy. But since we homeschool, I plan lunch and supper, and then breakfast is a different story. And so what I've done is I've planned to use a meal service that I have talked to y'all about before. Now, I don't pay full price for much of anything. And I certainly don't pay full price to use this meal service. But I want to tell you about it. And I've got coupons you can use. I can send them to email them to you. I can do different ways. But I'm nothing special in that aspect. Anybody who uses HelloFresh can share coupons and get discounts. So it doesn't, everybody, it's the same. So that's the way it's set up. And so, like I said, I don't pay full price for anything, much less something like this. So what I've done is I got on the app and I ordered for every week this month, I ordered 5 meals. And I'll probably post pictures of them over on Instagram stories, maybe, after we make them. Sweet and smoky pulled pork lettuce wraps, red pepper jam pork chops, I don't know how to pronounce that word, something pork tenderloin, pecan crusted chicken, and Italian chicken and pepper sandwiches. So what I did is we've used HelloFresh before, and I like it. I like several aspects of it. So this isn't necessarily a commercial. This is just to explain to you, give you another resource for your toolbox. You can skip weeks. I skipped months, and I came back and I still had my discounts and coupons that had built up. We liked the food. My son and his wife who tried HelloFresh, they said, well, you still have to cook and you have to want to cook. Okay, that's true. Doesn't come cooked for you. You got to cook it. So there's that. And another family member said, I didn't like all the spices and the vegetables. Well, okay, I do. I like, but you can leave them out, you know. So that brings me to another point. This is something, and I talked to my practitioner about this when I went for my blood pressure appointment Wednesday and my checkup. Because yes, I've got blood pressure issues now after 2022. And I talked to her about this because we kind of set some goals for me, and then I'll go back next month and talk to her and we'll check my progress. But I told her, I said, we are going to use this because it is going to be portion control. Each meal is for 4 people. But if you have 12 people in your family, you just order 3 of the meal. You see, 4 times 3 is 12. And so we're going to have portion control, and we're also going to have healthier choices. So that is going to help me. This is actually going to serve kind of as my diet plan. Because one thing she said to me, she said, you know, I hate this good food, bad food thing. We got to talking about a popular weight loss program that I did years ago, and she did too, and I was a lifetime member and all this. But they let you eat Cool Whip by the spoon and all kinds of sugar-laden stuff, but they wouldn't let you have more than, you know, 4 nuts or something. So she said, I really hate this good food, bad food idea. And she said, I prefer portion control and just common sense. And that makes so much sense to me. So this is going to be kind of my diet plan and my sanity plan, meal plan for the month of January. How do we afford it? Number one, I have shared, so I get discounts. Plus they give you discounts before you even share the program. So there's that. Number two, I will tell you that all 5 meals for the 4 of us for this week cost $157. Then I went to buy some other things at Aldi, which I'm going to show you that we're going to fill in and supplement with. And that cost me, it actually cost $173, but I paid myself back on some things. So technically it was less than $150 for food items and even non-food like toilet paper. So for around $300 this week, I have I'm going to feed my family all of our meals. Now that is going to include things that will carry over into next week. That will be, I'm sure, because this always happens, we will have foods we didn't eat, and so that will be for next week. Also, we will supplement with things in the pantry and so forth. So what happens is you get this box, and you put the cold things in the fridge when you get them. Comes with an ice pack. My fridge is horrible. It is awful. It needs to be cleaned out. But so there's, you know, chicken cutlets and the pork tenderloin and so forth. Okay. And so you put the meat in here and the, and any kind of, your vegetables. There's your broccoli, and you put your lettuce and your scallions and peppers and all that. Not peppers. I don't put the peppers in there. And then I left everything else in the sacks. And so say this is the word I can't pronounce, bulgogi, pork tenderloin, and it's got the carrots, and then everything else you need, the rice, the seasoning packs, sesame seeds, the sauce. All right, and then it's got your directions of how to make it. Okay, and so that is my plan. But then that's my 5 meals. And remember, we homeschool, so, and Mr. Patient takes his lunch to work. So I need to provide lunch and supper for everybody, and there's no leftovers with this, which is a good thing. Now, typically I see the wisdom in making a lot of food so that I will have leftovers on purpose for lunches and so forth. But in my case for this month, portion control, sanity control, I don't want a lot of leftovers. A couple more things that I'd planned, and like I said, I've got my meal menu plan written out for lunch and suppers. One thing I did, I got an organic chicken, and all right, so got all kinds of things in here. So this is a smoked turkey that I brought home. I cooked that in New York at my son's house, and I brought home the wings and legs, and I left them the good white meat. So I will do something with that. So see, I've got bits and pieces. This $300 is going to extend past 1 week. I don't know if that is a lot to you, but it's really not, especially if it incorporates the toilet paper and just different things that we had to buy. All right, so what I did is, in addition to the HelloFresh and still within this $300, I got 3 organic chicken breasts and an organic chicken. The chicken itself was $15, but I have made chicken salad out of it, and this is lunch, actually, with those croissants I showed you, and for more than 1 day, several days. And then I'll use this chicken for something, or I'll freeze it. I really don't have a plan for it right now. I might freeze it. And then I've got that broth that I showed you. I can use that for something that's not on my menu, so I could use that next week even. So we've already had salads, but this is one thing I wanted to show you. Now, this isn't organic, but the price is good. It was $2.99, I think, pretty sure, for these bag salads. $2.99 to me is not bad. This is 1 serving for me or Mr. Patient. It says it's 3.5, but whatever, it's not. It's a whole big bowl of salad, and I get got for this week different ones, but we've already eaten 3 of them between he and I, and this is the last one we have left. Southwest chopped salad kit, and it comes with your dressing and everything. You can use your own dressing if you wanted to. I'm pretty pleased with Aldi's selections that they have. They are pretty high on the scale of healthiness in my book, my middle-sized book. You remember we talked about that at the beginning of the video. So this is what the entire bag I would have for lunch, or Mr. Patient will have for lunch. Now, what I'm going to do with this particular bag is I also bought some ready-made chicken patties. My friend Laurie in Virginia told me about them at Aldi. Thank you, Laurie. They're delicious. And so I will cook those and cut them up and just have a fried chicken Southwest chopped salad. And it might be for 2 people if I do that. So I bought several of these for lunches, and then I did buy some also lettuce, and we've had salads. I bought some broccoli at Aldi, and I plan to make the broccoli salad. I know the recipe's on my website and in my cookbook. It's with the broccoli and the cheese, the mayonnaise, the red onion, and bacon, which I don't have, so I might leave that out. Or I might put some of this smoked turkey in it instead of the bacon. And the mushrooms are to saute, because I'm really trying to eat more vegetables too. I'm trying to think about more vegetables in our diet. And the HelloFresh is going to help with that too. Now, I don't use HelloFresh. I will only use it when I need it. It's a helper. And that's what I want you to be encouraged to accept help. Think of, that may be common sense, but then again, it took me a while to be like, you know what? It's okay, Katie. It's okay. Anyway, I've got this zucchini, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute. I used to, years ago when I lost a lot of weight, this was my main meal sometimes. I would saute mushrooms and zucchini and red onions in olive oil or whatever kind of oil you want. And so I got that to do. So that is my meal plan for the month. And if you're interested in HelloFresh, I have to go back and look, but I think I've got several codes. I can't remember if I need to send it to your email, or if you're on Instagram, just DM me and say, hey, I want a HelloFresh code, because I think each code is for one-time use. It's for one person. But I've got, you know, a lot of codes I can share. And they are for free box. They're for different things. Either a first box is free, which is what I did when I first started. Because I can understand you want to check it out before you commit. And the commitment part is easy. Like, you can skip forever. You can skip 1 week or 4 months. So I like that too. So anyway, that's my meal plan. I want to encourage you to accept help in other ways if you need it. If you can look at what would help you. My practitioner was saying this the other day, and I believe this. As much as you are physically able to, financially able to afford it or barter, what can help you? What can somebody else do that you don't have to do? You know, can you have somebody come in and help you clean every couple of weeks for an hour or two? Can you have somebody help on the farm for a little bit for an hour or two? Do some chores or mend a fence or something so that you can be doing something else. Especially with little ones. I know our audience here doesn't typically have a lot of little ones running around anymore. But I read a book once that she said she had somebody to come in and clean the house. She could do it easily, but she wanted to spend more time with her children and focusing on homeschooling. Can you, like I said at the beginning, can you automate something? If you're a creator, can you automate video? Can you schedule videos? Can you schedule posts? That's just things in my world that I'm thinking, but also tools. You know, I think you saw my bread machine sitting out a while ago. I use that thing a lot. I've talked to y'all about that in videos. Can I make homemade bread? Yes, I absolutely can, and I know how and all that, and that's great. But that bread machine is I'm going to put the ingredients in for our pizza crust here in a minute, and recipes here on the web, on YouTube for that. So also, I have we have a family member named Aunt Lucy, and I want to show you how Aunt Lucy helps us every day at 2:30. Well, that's Aunt Lucy, y'all. We love Aunt Lucy. She helps us so much. And a generous person had given me some Christmas money. And I thought, you know, I talked to some of my girlfriends around here, and a couple of them have those floor cleaner things, and they talked me into it. And so with having a dog and a cat in the house, and for some reason our house just breeds dust. I mean, you could sweep or whatever, and maybe because it's a 1940s house and the basement's open down there and all kinds of reasons. But like, you can sweep and there's dust bunnies the next day that have just, you know, multiplied. So I used a coupon and a sale, and I bought Aunt Lucy from Kohl's for well under the $200 that I was given. So, you know, could I have used that money elsewhere? Yes, but this is a helper for me. And I programmed her every day at 2:30. She cleans the whole main floor, which is, you know, most of the house. And it just really helps me. So, you know, don't be afraid to consider some helpers, whatever those are. And if you need to invest, if you can afford it, or have the extra money that you didn't know was coming, or whatever, but don't be afraid to use those helpers. My little pieces of equipment, I consider my servant girls, and Aunt Mary is the dishwasher, and Aunt Lucy is the floor cleaner, Roomba thing, whatever. Those are the only two that I have named, because we're strange like that, but it's fun to say, pick up because Aunt Lucy's coming. So I just wanted to show you that and tell you that. But just think of how you can make your life easier. You know, this is obviously an old idea, but I've put all my supplements. These are just natural supplements that I take for different health issues, and I've put them in the little pill box. And so how I would like to hear in the comments, what ideas do you have? What do you use? And think about it, because you might do something that you don't really realize is helping you, that it could be a great idea for somebody else. So what do you do that helps you as a homemaker, whether it's meal planning or for your health or your meditation Bible study in the mornings or maybe evenings or whenever? Or what piece of equipment do you use in the home or the kitchen or the farm outside? What do you do that you think, well, you know what, maybe somebody else doesn't know about that, and that might help him or her to have a more organized, planned year going forward. And so, you know, again, don't be afraid to accept help. I'm the one that just, you know, if I want it done right, I'll do it myself. Well, okay, there may be some truth in that a little bit. If I want it done the way I want it done, then I have to do it. But that's prideful. And I am working on that by accepting this help. And just because you know how to make meals, or you know how to make bread, or you know how to make whatever, doesn't mean you have to wear yourself out doing it if you can manage to get a little help every now and then. So next video that we have coming out, I don't know if it'll be the next one, but I'm going to share what I got for Christmas. And these are made in USA items, and I'm going to share just a little bit about my philosophy of how we shop USA, and then when we don't shop USA. And then in another video coming out, I don't know the order, but we're going to share our big purchase that we just finalized recently, and tell you where you can go and follow that journey going forward. So I hope you're counting your blessings. Maybe something I shared today here helps you. I'm just working on practicing what I preach and not being Elizabeth Lane. I just really need to take my own advice a lot of times and take care of myself, so that I can take better care of my home. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. So please make sure you just check out, I'm going to put all kinds of links in the description box. And if I fail to, somebody kindly remind me, because sometimes I'm editing videos and I forget that I said I was going to do something. But also visit me over on Instagram, because I do put different content on Instagram. And this month, I'm actually putting out 30 days of how we can have more restful, cozy homes. So totally different content from what I have here on YouTube. And also check out my email newsletter. So you can subscribe to that by going to heritageways.com. There's going to be a little pop-up, and you just fill in your information. It asks for your birthday only because I send a birthday email with a recipe. And so I send out a weekend newsletter every Sunday, Lord willing. All right, we got 2 more eggs. How many is that today?
I think 9.
Okay, come over here and say hello to our friends who might not have met you. So we got 9 eggs today.
Hello.
Okay, who are you?
I'm Little Miss Homemaker.
Who is he?
This is Jay.
And we have 11 eggs, and chickens, and we've got 9 eggs today.
That's a lot.
That is good. That's good. All right, Jay, tell them bye. No, tell them bye, not me. Here, get over here so they can see you, buddy. Tell them bye. Can you wave bye?
Bye.
Okay. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for being part of this community. It's a wonderful community of folks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.